Hey everyone, welcome to Pipes, Tobacco, and Whiskey. So today I am with truly the master of pipes, Mr. Nate King. Nate, thank you for being on the show.
Very happy to be here.
Appreciate you sharing your time with us. So anybody that has been involved in the pipe world knows Nate King pipes. They're pipes that identify. You can pick them out of the crowd. I mean, you've got your own unique style.
Sure.
And very, very popular pipes. And of course, I want to show some of your pipes.
All right.
At the end of our video, you're going to get a chance to see some of those.
Yeah.
But I want to talk to you a little bit about Nate.
All right.
Rather
Fantastic.
than your pipes. And I know that there's a story that you have to share with us, and frankly, I really don't know very much of it.
Okay.
But I want to hear a little bit about your experience in the race car industry.
Oh,
So
sure.
if you could share
Absolutely.
a little bit of that with us.
Far more exciting than pipes. No. So when I was very young, my whole family, both my brothers, my uncle, my dad, my sister, we were all involved, and my mom, were all involved in IndyCar racing. My oldest brother started with Gallus Racing back on the when Allenser Jr. was a rookie on the Coors Light Silver Bullet, and grew from there. My dad formed a not-for-profit to bring recognition to the mechanics of IndyCar racing, because everybody in that era knew the drivers, but who are these guys, like pushing the cars around, doing stuff. So to bring recognition, to bring awards similar to like the Doctor of Pipes and Master of Pipes things, to bring awards and recognition to the mechanics, to the real unsung heroes of racing. Any form of motorsport, you have to have guys to fix cars and keep things rolling.
That crew behind the scene.
Yes. So I traveled since I was 8 years old. I traveled around in a minivan that was all stickered up for that organization. I helped my mom. We had a little 10x10 pop-up merchandise tent, and I would help her. And I did school on the road and just lived at the racetrack, and had a few teams I did work for, as a little, 10-year-old, 14-year-old, and then that transitioned into having an actual full-time job, originally working for a manufacturing company, a supplier for the teams called Emco Gears, which made the gearboxes, the transmissions to take the power from the engine, put it to the wheels to drive the cars. They not only manufactured those for the series, but had us to maintain for those that didn't want to have their own gearbox guy on staff on the team. They would contract us to maintain and change gears and do everything at the track their guy would do. So I spent many years doing that, and then left that company, went to work for IndyCar teams, a number of IndyCar teams. So for my job in the garage, I was a gearbox guy, and then you help. It's a team, so when I'm done, I help other guys do their thing. If we need to help with setup or anything like that,
So
you just do
your tag, though, your tag is Gear or something or other.
Gear King is my original.
So I see the connection.
Yes. So yep. So and then over the wall during pit stops and things like that, because again, the race team does everything. There's not another crew that sets up the pits or anything. We all do all of it. We have usually two truckies that drive the trucks to wherever and set up, and then once the team gets there, that we help set up everything and tear down and all that. So we're a bit like the circus. We have we go to a place, we put up our tents, and we put on a show.
Yeah.
But over the wall, I did inside front tire for a brief time, and then the rest of my career in racing and recently My performance, my job over the wall was air jack. So I would lift the car up
So they could take tires off.
switch tires and then get everything going. Not a feeling in the world having a helmet on and going over the wall during a race with cars flying by you, inches from you in the pit stall. Things happening, engines, got launching at full throttle, pushing the car out. It's quite a feeling.
It's a rush, huh?
Yes, yeah.
So what was that life like? I mean, you had to have been on the road all the time.
So we were commonly, you're on the road 300 days a year or more.
I mean, that's 3/4 of the year.
Oh, yeah. You're
more,
gone,
right? Yeah.
except for like 2 winter months. You are gone because that's the thing is you have the racing season, but then especially back then you had testing before and after the season. So you would go. They would have open tests back long ago. Teams could rent tracks and do their own thing, but for financial, not that drives cost up.
Yeah.
Because then the people, the race teams with lots of money can do whatever, they can go and go and go, whereas the smaller, the mid-pack and smaller teams don't have that resource.
Right.
So they nixed the private testing, and but they will still have at least a couple of preseason and maybe postseason testing. So you're starting in February, March to go down to Florida, go to warmer states, of course, because
Right.
you gotta have temps.
Yeah.
But then racing season starts, March or April, depending on how that goes, and then you run sometimes all the way into like September. I think there were a few years we actually went into October, and then the season's over, and then you might have another test or two after. So truly, it's like, you're only off like December, January.
I imagine that in
for traveling.
In September, with all that gear that you have to wear and everything, I bet it was miserable.
Oh, worst one for me. Actually had medics at Mexico City.
Yeah.
Back in this has been like 2005. It was ambient temperature was 118.
Jeez.
Those
tracks are just.
And in Mexico, in Mexico City, during that time of the year, it was like 183% humidity as well. It's like, how is it not raining if it's more than 100%? No.
I bet you could lose pounds just in the time of a
yes,
race.
absolutely. So normally under regular ambient, say it's 72 out, with guys, doing the pit stops, things like that, and especially the drivers in the cars where there's not a ton of airflow, they will lose 10, 20 pounds in water weight just from dehydration.
And they're really not able to hydrate while they're driving.
Yes,
and
they are.
Do they have
yes.
like a camel whatever?
Yeah, like a camelback, yes,
Yeah.
similar things. Depending on teams and what the driver likes. Some of them literally have a button on the wheel that's got a pump that will pump the
That's cool.
fluid in. But they will have their choice of their choice of Gatorade, because there's many different brands, and as some of the most supreme athletes on the planet, their heart rate is what the space shuttle and anyone going into space at launch
Gets up to.
It's that for anywhere from 3 to 4 hours constantly.
Yeah. I mean, you're on the edge.
Yes, all the time.
Yeah.
So it's truly an extreme sport.
So what is the average speed that a race car would go?
Depends on the racetrack. Of course,
Okay.
you have temporary street circuits like Long Beach that recently just happened.
Is
for
the
IndyCar.
Indianapolis like that?
No. Indianapolis is a permanent oval,
Okay.
and it is the permanent oval. Like, that place has so much history. and then you'll have permanent road courses as well. So and different size ovals and things like that. So
What's your favorite track?
I have to say Laguna Seca.
Say that again.
Laguna Seca.
Okay.
In
Okay.
Monterey, California.
Yeah.
Basically part of old Fort Ord.
Oh, okay.
Way back when. So.
Okay.
But back to the speed question, the averages last year because again you'll also have qualifying, which means you only have to hold on for 6 laps instead of so many laps.
Right.
So they always turn everything up for that because 6 laps mean you can be on an even finer edge to get even more speed out to outdo the other guy. But your speeds at Indy will be 230s on
That's
average.
incredible.
So you'll on the straights, of course, you gain speed. You'll easily be going 240, 242 into the first turn.
I couldn't even imagine. I owned a Corvette at one time, and I got it up to 150. And I thought I was gonna pee my pants when I got it to 150.
Yes.
These guys are doing 100 miles more than that.
Oh yeah, it
That's
is
crazy.
Oh, it blows my mind.
That's really interesting.
The beautiful part of what I did when I was younger is the job I did as a gearbox guy. The gearboxes, because they are racing and because they are on that fine edge, when a gearbox is running just like the engine, it is nothing. They're just trying to destroy themselves. Like it is that fine of an edge. So it's such a fine edge that attention to detail is paramount. And you're talking from 5,000ths of an inch, setting up gear, the gear sets and the ring and pinions and things like that. The parts of the gearbox tolerances are like less than the thickness of a human hair to 10,000ths of an inch.
So to me, that infinite detail translates.
Absolutely, yeah. It prepared me. Weirdly enough, it prepared me for something I came into much later in my life.
So tell me a little bit about that transference. How did that happen? How did you go from being the the race car
guy to
to a pipe
as we
carver?
talked about, being gone 300 plus days a year, I've lost 3 girlfriends to racing because I'm never home.
There,
It's like, hey, let's and there's no Zoom, there's no calling on the phones at that time. Like there's not much you can do. It's like, hey, how's it going? I love you.
Sorry.
I'll be home. I'll be home in September, perhaps. But I just got road weary and said, I'm done doing this. I cannot. I at least need a break. So stopped doing that. Went into to a local FBO, local airport, private airport, and started working on aircraft because similar things. It's just the wings are different. One goes up, one pushes down. But another detail job, but got into that and found, I did not like that at all, because sadly, what I was used to in racing, tough but glamorous, like it's a flashy job. You're working on some high tech stuff and all that. Working on aircraft, I'm working on Cessnas from the 50s and Cessnas that are brand new, and it's the same thing because they've made everything so reliable. It's like, we're not changing it. Like, this works, do not change it. So all this stuff, all the aircraft, I end up doing what are called 50 and 100 hours, which are regular maintenance things, oil changes, things like that, just things that. So I was, I basically working at Jiffy Lube for planes, and oh boy, I did not like that so much.
Well, not sure where we were before the interruption.
Indeed.
So let's kind of, we talked about the transference of your attention to detail
onto this.
To your pipes. Let's talk about your pipes a little bit.
All right.
What you were fixing to say something.
I do remember now,
Okay,
actually, which is weird for me. We were talking about the transition from racing to pipes.
Right.
And what happened there is I actually had a buddy of mine that I did video and acting and sketches for our church, and he smoked a pipe. And like everyone else on the planet, I had no idea. Like, okay, this exists, and I'd seen them all my life, but no one smoked. In real life,
Right.
no one does that. But I had met him, and we'd become really good friends. And he smoked a pipe. He's like, "You want to try it?" I'm like, "All right." And of course, in racing, I grew up in the era of, as we all have, is everything. People think smoking, they think cigarettes.
Right.
And so I automatically had I don't know. And then tried it out, loved it, and started doing research on that of so, and it turns out that, Surgeon General studies have been done and so many other things that, this is not nearly the same thing.
Yeah,
not even
pipe
close.
smoking is so different.
Yeah, pipes and cigars both are natural leaf, and that's it. And you don't inhale, and
no additive
right.
added chemicals.
Yeah.
And so I read a study somewhere where pipe smoking, as compared to not smoking at all,
right?
If not smoking,
that was the Surgeon General.
Is a 1. Pipe smoking was a 1.6, as compared to cigarette smoking. Which
that was a later.
40s
That was a later one. So the earlier one said that pipes and cigars at that time was smaller. Pipes were more. Pipes and cigar smokers that do not inhale, which I'm like, I'm good. I don't want to do that anyway. So on average, pipe and cigar smokers that do not inhale, on average, live 2 years longer than non-smokers.
I think it has to do with the stress relief.
Yes, exactly, because it's a very calming, Zen-like, some would say, calming hobby, pastime that you sit down. There's a ritual to it. It's very, like I said, very calming, very relaxing. So
now, a little bit about your pipes.
Yes, indeed.
How long have you been carving?
More than 20 years.
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
you're
an old pro.
Yeah, well, pro. No.
Hey, your
I
award
know.
says it
yeah,
all.
That's true. That's true. So, my goodness, it officially is an LLC, it's like official business. It's been early 2000s. I was carving before that, unprofessionally, but
right.
Hobbyist levels type stuff. But
do you remember the first pipe that you made money on?
Yeah. The first few, yeah, I do. Oddly enough,
if you knew then what you know now, what would you have told yourself?
Relax. It'll be okay.
Because were you pretty uptight about making a living?
So again, I can tear apart a gearbox. I can, as a mechanic, I know certain things. I knew nothing about business.
Right.
Going and greeting.
Did you have help with that, or did?
Oh yeah. To a degree, I had people I could lean on, but it was largely just all right, let's do this. So it was a situation. I more in life regret things I could have done but didn't do.
Right.
Than, oh man, I did that. That was a bad idea. So this was a situation of, back when I was working on the aircraft. I just, like I said, I hated that job, and I'd gotten into doing this. And I told myself, I'm like, listen, I gotta give a go, have a go at this. So, and here I am.
20 or so years later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think it's awesome that you're able to do this as a means of
income. I can pay my rent with this.
I mean, and what better thing to do than work with pipes, work on pipes, and to me, the industry, the community is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that's why.
So, did you have any mentors that helped you?
Oh yeah. So all the big names. My original, the first guy I worked with out in, he was about an hour west of me in Indiana. A gentleman in Indiana. The first one I worked with was Wayne Typen, who's a hobbyist guy. You know, he doesn't do it professionally. He has a real job. I learned a lot from him. He also had a very high attention to detail. So worked at a hospital. So it seems to track.
Yeah.
But then just coming to shows and meeting people and just everybody. You know, like I said, almost every person you can think of, names have helped, because that's what our community is like. You touched on the community, and I tell people as often as I can, every podcast, every video I do, that get to a pipe show, you will not, I guarantee you will not regret it. It will be one of the best experiences of your life.
I mean, everyone is so friendly.
Yes.
They're willing to
Yes.
sit down and talk.
Yep.
We share everything.
We automatically have a common bond of loving the pipe, and so it's only better from there. You know,
you're right.
So
all right. So if I was to pick one Nate King pipe that said, "This is Nate King," what would you think that would be? What is your signature pipe?
Oh, I don't have that.
Okay.
So just like in mine, you know, like what's your favorite song or what's your favorite? I'm like, it depends on my mood. I love, but
so what's some of the favorites that you have?
So these both are. This is for the first time at a show. This is a top grade. This is the high grade smooth called a crown grade. And then I have a it's lovely. I am so thrilled with that piece. The shank ring is mammoth ivory, mammoth tusk. Put that in there.
Man.
And the same for I have a top grade for blasts as well, and this is the scepter grade.
Scepter.
Yeah, for sandblasts.
Man, that is gnarly.
And the same with mammoth tusk.
That is cool.
Thank you. So those are some of the more exquisite pieces. But as you know, I've done steampunk, and I have a shape called the gear punk, which I haven't done. You know, unfortunately, I haven't done in a while. But I'm all over the. You know, like a lot of things in my life. I like trying new things. I like different things. So you know, that's not for everyone. The steampunk work and the gear punk work is not for, everyone has different tastes.
Yeah.
So I like to, I just like to try and
kind of experiment and dabble with a lot of
with
different
all of
things.
them. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that I had Nate make me a beautiful prints, sandblasted prints with a natural finish.
Yep.
And this is smokes like a gem, guys. This is one of the best smoking pipes I own, and I own a lot.
Fair enough. Does your wife know?
Yes.
Okay.
We have a deal. I buy pipes, she buys shoes. We don't talk about it.
Okay. I think that probably works pretty well.
And then I stole this from Jay Furman. This is a kind of a Dublin style pop, kind of
it's
with a bamboo.
Little influence from Ilstead, kind of a Danish Dublin.
Yeah, which also smokes great. Very happy with both of these pipes. So tell folks how they can see your pipes and maybe can get some pipes to have you make for them.
Sure, certainly. I still do commissions.
Yeah.
The list is quite long at this point. It's over a year at this point.
Wait.
But yeah.
But worth the wait.
I would say that too.
I waited 6 months.
Yeah.
And I don't regret it at all.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Largely, most social medias, anything on social media is Nate King Pipes.
Nate King Pipes.
So Instagram, Nate King Pipes, Twitter, etc.
And we'll put all this information on the description so you can get to it.
I have NateKingPipes.com as well, but that largely doesn't get used anymore. It's an interesting world we are in now, where that used to be the thing. People went to websites. For pipe people, went to websites to buy stuff, and now stuff is sold right off of Instagram and other social media. So people will literally see me working on something. I want that. So best way is either any of the social medias.
And I recommend that you get with him. If you see a piece on Instagram or something like that, get with him quickly on that. Rather than trying to go online and find something. 2 reasons. Number one, you're putting him to work. and number two, you're getting something more personal
Sure.
for what you want.
Yeah.
And
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Real
and
tailored.
so that's super important to me.
Well, and to me, I have I have shops as well, all over. I've got Ohlone, an actual brick and mortar in California. I've got Blue Room Briars online. Good again, and the lovely thing about all that we do, is that all these people are my friends. It's not just like we're in business together; they're my friends.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate the commission, because it is, I send off pipes, and they go away. They go into a black hole. That I'm lucky if someone posts it on Instagram, so I can say, "Oh man, I hope that smokes well for you. I hope you enjoy it."
Yeah.
So it is fantastic when like you or anyone else reaches out to me, and I can actually make exactly what you want. The thing that's in your heart.
Yeah, and I think you're going to pay basically the same price than you would on.
Oh yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
My commissions
Yeah.
are the same as
So it's not
anything
like,
online.
It's not like
yeah.
you jack it up
No,
or anything
no,
like that. So yeah. Well, Nate, truly a master of pipes, just been endowed with that title of Master Pipes here at the Chicago show. Congratulations on that, and thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming
I
on
really
our show.
appreciate it, Tom.
Guys, get a hold of Nate. I'll post all of his Instagram and Facebook information on the description so that you can get a hold of him. And I'm going to show you some of his work here at the show at the end of the video. Thanks a lot, Nate.
Yeah, happy to do it.
Take care, guys.